What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise Stream CKO13 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above directly at wisetake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day Pass is available if you want to try us out. That being said, if new to this channel, welcome. You've come to the right place with some free fire DFS content, so make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and don't miss out on any of the free content we put out currently covering MLB slates Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Gotta say it like that because we got football now. That's right, we got football now. Week 1, thought it went all right. Not for me personally, but I know Joe smashed in cash games. He writes our cash game article at wisetake.com, and it's normally on a show. He may not be attending tomorrow night. We'll see. Wednesday night, later tonight, depending on when you listen to this. We'll see. But either way, me and Paulie will be doing it regardless. Some NFL action for week 2, first look. Excited for that. So again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the free shit. That's all I'm saying. At the very least. You know what I mean? You should be getting a membership, but at the very least, don't miss out on any of the free shit. All right. We've got a 10-game slate. Little early slate action for the D-Gens out there, like myself. This is good. But we got a 10-game main slate that we're going to cover. We're going to address right here on this show. So we're going to go ahead and jump in with the top pitchers like we always do. Pat Bush, what's going on, bro? Doing all right? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. All right, Julio Urias, still haven't learned how to say his name. I'm going to have to watch a damn Dodger game, I guess. Solid numbers. Arizona last year were really good against lefties. We got some players that are pretty good against lefties. Could tell Marte, some of these guys, but this year they haven't been as good. Right? They may have improved recently a little bit. Yeah, they have. They've improved a little bit recently, probably since Ketel Marte came back, as he's been missing a good chunk of the season, but still not great. So I think he's fine. I'm not big into Urquidy. I guess it's the Rangers, but the Rangers have been playing a little bit better now. Leonard, what's going on, bro? Out with the don't watch. Leonard's been killing it, man. He's playing cash games, and he's been smashing, man. He's been winning. He's been calling home runs. Even the comments he leaves. He's in our Slack chat. He's a member of the nation, but even in the comments he leaves, man. I tell people I'm not touching Darvish. What happens? Darvish gives up like 8 runs. I'm telling you, watch Leonard, man. Urias, okay. Urias. It's funny because it's one of them things where, like, now that you say it, I'm like, shit, yeah, I did. I was once told it was Urias. Sean Manaea, he stands out. He's having a really good season. He gets a really good park in Kansas City. Kansas City, not a high strikeout team, only 19.8% against lefties, but a 96 WRC plus, 314 WOBA, 156 ISO. He's a possibility. I think Musgrove is a very interesting candidate. Curious to see what his ownership looks like against the Giants, who are one of the better offenses out there, but do strike out a pretty good amount. Musgrove's been a little mediocre, right? He's played 2 really tough opponents. So since that 9K complete game 3-hitter against the Angels, right? He's played Houston and the Dodgers, and he still had decent games considering. The Giants are probably going to be, at least in terms of strikeout upside, one of the better matchups that he will have seen. You can see 24.8%. Giants are tied for third in WRC plus against righties at 109 with a 200 ISO. But again, they are playing in a very large park in San Francisco, and the Giants have a 24.8% K rate. So if he can at least give us that strikeout floor, then I think that we could be in a position to get a ceiling game potentially. Tyler McGill, I think, is having himself a year. I don't like picking on the Cardinals. I know that Stroman went out there and struck out a bunch of these dudes, but on the season, normally St. Louis does not strike out a ton. So being that they strike out so much against Stroman out of character, I'm a little nervous that they won't do it against Miguel. On the flip side, sometimes you see teams just go on these slides where, like, they haven't really been striking out all season, and all of a sudden they're striking out every day for like a week or two. We've seen shit like that happen. Oscar Yanoa, again, really strong numbers. He'll play Colorado. Colorado lit up Tucson. The Rockies been playing a little bit better. I'll admit it. They've been playing a little bit better. Only a 22.8% K rate on the season, but they're still dead last in WRC plus against righties. You know what I mean? Like, so I think he's a pretty solid option also. And then as far as cheap guys goes, there's like Nestor Cortez against Baltimore. Not a good park. He's a fly ball pitcher. Baltimore's been better against lefties this season. Nestor's coming off, I think, a pretty good game. There's that. There's like Ranger Suarez, whose numbers are impressive, I'll admit, against the Cubs. Now, as bad as the Cubs look, in terms of their lineup, they do have a lot of righties, like Wisdom, Schwindel, who's been pretty hot, Contreras, some of these guys that could hit lefties pretty good. But Ranger Suarez number's been awesome, 60% ground ball rate. Hey, hard to argue. We'll move over to top offenses. So there's a couple pitchers we don't have. We'll talk about them in a second. But first, Yankees, they went off, right? Home run city. They'll go against another lefty in John Means. I can see this being a troll spot, but it's hard to advise not to get some when he has a 48% fly ball rate in Baltimore. And not to mention the Yankees this season have been better against lefties. So, yeah, expect the Yankees to be popular. The Astros should probably get some love, right, against Arihara, who's got, he's competing for worst numbers on the slate, right? Houston's a very good offense. We know a top-rank offense. First in WRC plus, I think, in both categories, right? Righties and lefties. Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, I expect the Astros to get some love. The Braves against Senzatella. I don't love picking on Senzatella, especially away from course, because he's just like, you talk about how some of these teams are stingy with strikeouts. He don't get strikeouts, but he's stingy with the fucking power, man. 36% hard contact rate, but he somehow does it. 51% ground ball rate. I don't know. Even his xFIP and Sierra aren't as bad as you would think a player would be with a 15.9% K rate. Phillies against Alec Mills. I don't think Alec Mills is that good. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's that good, though. And I think that Phillies got some decent power. We got Bryce Harper. Have to check the status on who's in or who's out. They got a lot of swashing going on. It's tough for me to play the Phillies these days, but they are at home in the Hitters Park. And again, they do got some players tonight. They got some good players. Yeah, 5 home runs for the Yankees tonight. Yep, that's your 5-man stack on DraftKings right there. Just guessing that. And then the Mets. Mets look like they're gonna choke the game up to the Cardinals. Javi Baez hit a home run in the 9th to tie it, and then in the 11th, bullpen kind of blew it. I mean, really, the offense blew it. Let's be real. They had a runner on third with 1 out. All they had to do was score because it's bottom of the inning. 1 run wins. And then I think, what's his name, walked, right? VR walked, and then Lindor hit into a double play. What are you going to say? Yes, Pat McCutcheon has power. They got guys. I just have a hard time rostering them unless I have enough teams. If I have enough teams, then yeah, I'll get to them. But I'm not saying that's how it's going to be tomorrow. Maybe I'll force myself. Once we dig in and do more research as I'm writing the article, I'm going to try to make up my mind there. But anyway, Mets against John Lester. This isn't about the Mets. It's about John Lester. Right? He's terrible. He's terrible. So yeah, I'm going to play the Mets. I'm a Met fan, but this is more about John Lester. Things to watch. The Dodgers are playing the Giants. We don't know who's pitching for the Giants yet. DraftKings currently has Scott Kazmir. That has not been confirmed. But they don't have a pitcher announced. And I did see a note that Kazmir was supposed to start or get called up at least at some point this week. So it could be him. The A's against Mike Minor. So the A's put up a lot of runs. I think they were losing last time I checked, despite putting up like 7 runs. Big park. The problem is it was a lot of singles, a lot of walks, like bloop shit. It wasn't tremendous power, but this is an interesting matchup here against Mike Minor. They got some lefty matches. Chapman, assuming he's playing. I don't think he played today. We'll have to see if he comes back. But even so, you got Starling Marte, you got Marcana, you got these aren't world beaters, right? But they're guys capable of hitting lefties. So interesting spot, nonetheless. And then the Indians Minnesota game, right? Cleveland Minnesota game. You know what I mean? We've got 6.72 ERA, 5.64 xFIP, 50% fly ball rate, and a 40% hard contact rate for Griffin Jacks. That's pretty good for Cleveland. It's not the greatest park, right? It's not the greatest park. Meanwhile, on the other side, Cal Quantrill, who I think has come into his own a little bit. I don't think he's as bad. So I guess this is more about, do we play Cleveland against Minnesota? And it may be worth a shot. They were playing really well for a little while, consistently low owned because people don't want to play bad teams. And, no offense, Cleveland, but this year, you know what it is. So, yeah, I think Cleveland's definitely something to keep an eye on. Dog watch, and we're out of here. Giancarlo Stanton, number 1. Pete Alonso, number 2. James McCann, 2 Mets. Right, double it down. James McCann going with a catcher. A catcher that has not had that great of a season at that. So we're going to do that. All right, Nation. That's going to do it for this edition of the MLB Wise Stream. Again, check for the NFL Wise Stream, NFL podcast, whatever you want to call it. We'll be doing that. We'll be doing it, and doing it well. So make sure you catch it. Check us out at WiseTake.com. Catch some of these guys you've seen in the YouTube chat and the Slack chat if you're a WiseTake Nation member. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.